Welcome to the Hyborian Keep. I'm Old Man Hyborian. Here we review tales of Robert E. Howard's greatest character, Conan the Barbarian. Today we will be reviewing Chuck Dixon's novella number 2, Caravan of the Damned. This won't be some fluffy review. It'll be an old man's honest opinion. And just as a heads up, there will be spoilers. So I don't want you to go crying to your mommy if I say something that spoils it for you. If you don't want the spoilers, go to the summary at the end. And if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. And with that, let's get after it. Chuck Dixon's Conan number 2, Caravan of the Damned. Softcover book. It's illustrated by Ademir Leal. The illustrations are not too bad. The cover is a little bit cartoony, but the actual illustrations themselves are not too bad. I always like to have some kind of illustration in these short novellas. Kind of spices them up a little bit. So this was copyright in 2023 by Chuck Dixon. And it's mentioned at the back that he's planning to have 3 books. Book 1, The Siege of the Black Citadel. I did a review on that if you'd like to check that out. And this is book 2, The Caravan of the Damned. And there was a planned book 3, The Pit of the Blind God. But I don't believe that was ever made. So the story starts with Conan. He's a chieftain of a group of bandits. They're called the Wolves of Zugir in the Zugir Desert. And they raided a Zamoran caravan. One thing about Dixon, he can write a real good battle scene. So they battled the caravan guards, and after they defeated the caravan, Conan discovers that there's another caravan en route to meet this caravan, and it's carrying a great treasure. So Conan makes plans to ambush the second caravan, and the great treasure ends up being a princess of Turan. So he takes the princess hostage, and then they end up getting pursued by a group of elite Turanian soldiers. There's a chase through the desert with Conan and his group trying to make it to an oasis. However, Conan knows that the pursuers are going to overtake them before they make the oasis. So Conan heads off into an unknown section of the desert towards what he thought was an approaching storm to perhaps lose the pursuers. So the group, they end up in a strange oasis that has black sand, it has a black pillar with a warning on it, and there's a smell of sulfur. And the water in the oasis is boiling. And it ends up the oasis is actually inhabited by a bunch of strange beasts. Again, Conan and his men have to battle these beasts, which is another well-written battle scene. One fun part of the story was the princess's camel that comes into play. It was kind of fun. So overall, the story, was well-paced and pretty good. There was a few things that I didn't like. I didn't like that Dixon made the same mistake as he made in his first Conan book, is that he has Conan with gray eyes. Like, that really turns me off. Dixon should know better than that. He wrote all kinds of Conan tales for Savage Sword of Conan. Also, there was some of the mannerisms of Conan. For example, Conan kills a young soldier who was a lone survivor of one of the battles. That just really is kind of out of character for Conan. And after another battle, Conan has all the guards and the caravan drivers killed. And even has his own wounded man strangled with a bowstring, just so he can hide his escape route. So again, that just did not feel like Conan to me. I know that Conan did, in the Black Stranger, Conan did have a sailor killed just to avoid the sailor from being captured and tortured by the Picts. But this mass killing of guards and caravan drivers and his own men just wasn't even comparable. It seemed to be way out of character. What I did like is I like the pace of the story. Dixon knows how to pace it pretty good. It's good action. He gives a feeling that it is a Conan story. And he writes pretty good fight scenes. And I enjoy the length of Dixon stories. They're just the right length for a Conan tale. So overall, pretty good read. There was a few things that were not quite right with it, but if you can overlook those few flaws, overall it was a pretty good solid tale. Well, there you have it. A solid novella from Chuck Dixon. If you can overlook some of the minor flaws, like the color of his eyes, which really does kind of bug me, and some of the mannerisms of Conan that just didn't suit Conan. He was a little bit too barbaric. But overall, good read. Chuck Dixon can write a good story, has a good pace, and he understands the Hyborian age. I would recommend it. Buy it, read it, and enjoy it. And with that, I bid you farewell.